aba akokɔ na masua sakwa sa junction no so no wo mo branch ni bi e wo ho a wo mo e bu adwuma na kofi de atie ni se main office no o brekum empatase kwa ene ya de abanya wo mo asoye obesia nya eniema bi etese asoso anasa asoso boy asese kan so toothbrush and toothpaste sapa wodo and torchlight ni nyina no wo Mike Ventures ubenya bi afei upeki wo da papa ubenya bi e ho de customize udin aguso ane de ye customize umfonyini atoso mu ya dwumako na mo pese ye bi amama wo Mike Ventures obaya makama pa afi waseme mfantu adim sa ebia upe China doors, Italian doors, Turkish doors, any German doors ni nyina no obenya bi ama wo e wa na so ye enti ye nyina mfia ni Encha Mike Ventures na fe yankwankwaje sa niema ni bi yebetimi afa Mike Ventures wa 02082599314 ana se 0554408200 no number ya ni Mike Ventures setting komo awaso afa ya dia sida ni bi ama Siwoman Limited the same so opa dance wo niema papa ne bo elfo ebiti se China doors sounds na opa wooden doors iron rods wood paint wheelbarrow square mesh pipe cement plywood modern design plywood and face no open wood sticker ceiling buttons roofing sheet tape measure and some paper ni nyina no ukonoma ubenya bi aboafo kwan so na Siwoman Limited say so your contractor uye mason and answer uye welder eniema odebe adwuma ama adwuma na aye successful no ni nyina oba na so ya ubenya bi aboafo kwan so na omo brekum runabout akesemu wani extra continental no before so bedu post office abronsam yansan say ohwa adwuma ni opposite so na abronsan na and transport ewo mu no wo mo branch ni bi ewo honso a wo mo ebu adwuma ye betimi any Siwoman Limited adinkaba our 0208131877 and answer 0243378508 anu number ye ni Siwoman Limited adinkaba our so Rizwan phones and accessory center and so ebwa na Rizwan say se phone na say na opera bia obe repair phone no amana asiasi ni dada mu biewa ehwa na waso de oni eche waso obodman obenya phone accessories afre screen protectors memory cards headphone power bank bluetooth speaker phone covers ring light pen drive computer mouse any gamepad no ni nyina no okodma obenya bi na osimi mfantu anim se ena no pai e bia o phone o rice cooker o iron and o blender and asay and upe bi ato obodman obenya bi afre wasim e bi nso upemuno anasa wodi na asay na opeso wakora no emwa wobe repair ama kama pa na with one our brekum total to nchemu kwan na linki eco Peters de market no ubu kef na unsabenkum so womo anasa yes uko wanim kakra bia kwan na eco pie anti agi maternity wo no sa kwan no wo so a wo bo adwuma ye betimi afram with one our 0249340484 anasa 0205855229 no number your name with one 18 so Adford frozen foods and so aboyepa na Adford frozen foods achasa se enano pay open and papa odi be ye aduane ewe fie anase ebia odi aye aduane aton a ni nyina no wo mo so oba no ma ubenya bi enam bi ti se kotodwe na manama pork ntinintini akokɔ ne nsam gizzard anase upe sausage afe upe na ntwemfunumo tilapia anase redfish salmon palapi es opa amani sardine any tuna no ni nyina no ubenya bi our Adford frozen foods na Adford frozen foods employing force wo mo branches ne ayamienu uramu ewo brekum branya kwakwan ne so a babia enkane na Chris FM ewo no opposite pe na Adford frozen foods ewo ukodom akwan ne so a wo mo ani washing be no na di hwane mu ye ne Adford frozen foods edin kama our 0248431370 and answer 0204557434 eno number ye ne Adford frozen foods edin kama our so adishia kitchen enso se ope aduane papa de ebiti sa jollof anasa fried rice ope indomie anasa spaghetti ni nyina no okonma ubenya bi ewo adishia kitchen mpan for same se ebia aye bi na ba fie wedding bi na ekoso engagement bi na eba so a na ebia hoho aba besie wo so ewe fie nti upaduane papa e di amowo mu a adehye kitchen say odi place order e 024 1482900 mu obrekum continental traffic light na say eno mu a wo mu ebu adwuma ye betimi ene adehye kitchen adin sawoso na for mama ya special discount na kofi ya ka no mama mfama for say everlasting joy roofing services and so actually say open chance at the board down so say ban self lock IBL and I open ni nyina no ukonoma ubenya bi ebia ope erotas anase ebia ope aloxin ope rain gutters anase ope aloxin cups ni nyina no ubenya bi ewo everlasting joy roofing services one will say ebia ene anopai wo ope so board down so nanso sikasem akwakoye problem a eni omu eni sawaso womu bebua na mfensu no womu abotane so ama womu di nua nso ebegusu because enua no womu enim eno nso eye enti se bia peso di nua gusu a everlasting joy roofing services ebeye enchance no nso no wo peso bodi gusu abra uniska wombe ya ma emrepam ni wakwa kwatua bia unchance na yedi kan aboso no baby ewe na de chene anase paint no popa womu ebeye roofing painting amount afelikages edi kan abamu no womu ebeye ni nyina ama womu obrekum Thursday market womu ni service station no ene editwa ni mum anase womu ebenjuben pharmacy ewo Pentecost kwan so yemfre everlasting joy roofing services our 0596 877 505 eno number yani everlasting for 18 come our so kofi ya asidani bi ma perfect finishing na perfect finishing for him and pay yanka na fe atie for ento mo wase se ope pop di obeye na fensu no wasia ye ni yie ama opadia eyobo perfect finishing womo ebe finishing perfect amount afo womo se mimfantu adim sa opeso ye design bia awo fia eno nso mbe ne kama pa na no nso atimi aboa maniema atimi akosu ye edi amount enti anopai de ye nyina de ni snacks station k dance hardware na fe yakọ na ye ne perfect finishing for enso akwa kodin sawoso kofi ma mimfantu atie fadim sam uramu awa maso ya ubetimi eno mo adin kama awa 0591 193 eno number yani perfect finishing for 18 kama awa so afe opeso ojoini loading boys na over 0206 567 190 eno number mo frame pay for awa so afe ye dia sedani bi ama unique kitchen same se anopai obedidi ama na ayoda eyo mu asoye upe wacha eshe upe chase ene enam nentwinam anasa red fish upe plain rice a ede eni stew ana fensu no enkwan empesi a ede body empesie anasa bayira empesie eni nkonto mirabomum Bruta ni nyina unique kitchen and ede ema womu obrekum Golden City Park Coach Lamini animu ha eno womu ebo adwuma obetimi afre unique kitchen ewa 0244 875 eno number yani unique kitchen edin kama ewa so na coffee ye konko farmer so nemom enwuma kono ebi etise Bon Agro Limited and face no Sonic Gold Gary Mix ene Akwaaba Lodge and face no Fosuya Company Limited other companies so mo kanwa ena no pay yadimo konko farmer so makacho se Facebook no Akwaaba Radio Brekum anase Akwaaba FM ukoduba na like wi a na wa drop comment na fei wamia share no so on YouTube nso no edemu kama pa wonso Akwaaba Radio ubenya show no ahwe honom na no nso atimi aboa manema atimi atotoye enti Kofi anopai de madikin aka sebabia bekọ bia no Akwaaba Radio na Kofi yenshan samana se emfi UEFA Champions League nano ana UEFA Champions League no yabo final game ewo Allianz Arena Germany ene mpetama yenya nkunimdie enso ema the first club wonu enso etimi eto atena in that particular game no bobo kwa na Paris Saint-Germain Kofi de ate anese Paris Saint-Germain and we need 4-5-0 etiatima no enso in Inter Milan nano ewo Allianz Arena na de ate ane se emrantia wo mo etontena ema PSG boboko no aye Ashraf Hakimi Desire Due about the second goal. First goal no one and a assist. Third goal no so no one the sign FSM and a Kivicha Kvaratskhelia about the fourth goal. Sani Mayulu and so about the fifth goal. Emma Paris Saint-Germain team na nanu Saturday one more and win 5-0 Etia Inter Milan.
Dembele, Coutinho on his way. Here's Doué looking for his second. And claiming his second. It's been a dream night for the 19-year-old.
Enti Desire Due ana chase enra achi Saturday wotimi estili show no Emma Paris Saint-Germain na Kofi Yepon game no na Desire Due esu na de ate ane se abranche no osu because as a teenager 19 years now within 20 minutes was she go esen aye assist no eno etimi abo ama say Desire Due ababe the youngest player to score an assist in Champions League final. At the same time, one who Desire Due ababe the youngest ever French player to start UEFA Champions League final game at the age of 19 years. One and assign edgy man of the match award with 2 goals, 1 assist. Na enye is this season over Champions League when 10 goals contribution for Paris Saint-Germain and Ashraf Hakimi, the first goal scorer in that particular game this season. One also for Paris Saint-Germain when 9 goals, 14 assists, and Tiabranton and 23 goals contributions this season in all competitions for Paris Saint-Germain. Bobo Kono, William Pacho, and so Ababe the first player from Ecuador to win the UEFA Champions League in Pacho, and so Ayabakwasem, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Kofi Diate, Adisa Branton, and 4 different medals this season. Serie A medal nano Saturday me catch up Mose Wabenyabi, Alpha League 1, Wanya Beda Dibi, Coupe de France, and so no one when and a UEFA Champions League, and so no watching Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, Ababe the only second player in the history to win 2 domestic league titles and continental treble in the same season. And no Serie A one when with Napoli Bobo Kono about first round of the Serie A and send at the month of January. Wababe Piemo our Paris Saint-Germain Waba and so Wabaji 3 titles, League 1, Coupe de France, and a UEFA Champions League. And Tiabranton there were a Serie A winner. Yeah, but about so after say nanu ye bo game in area no one Kivicha Kvaratskhelia and in Central for Ekodin Kama was in a near J so I win such titles now 4 months ago no naturally Utimus and Yamamu and so I think at the about Kivicha Kvaratskhelia because no nim so what's not Napoli and also about the people of Paris Saint-Germain now so the near J pass will take it the best decision and they wait me at the Champions League na near J for the troubler when you're with PSG.
So congratulations, you've won the Champions League. How does it feel?
It's crazy. I cannot imagine that today I'm Champions League winner. So it's really dreams come true, and I cannot describe it. It's crazy emotions today.
Yes, and Kivicha Kvaratskhelia and at the San Samne to your captain. I a branch for the Makinos and on also says trophy we are this current players from which MPG Adio Mujubilato were best former players will pass it through Paris Saint-Germain will be jubilati will be a try now so far and nay one more time moment me Agia and yet will catch your name Messi Ibrahimovic Di Maria Cavani and Kylian Mbappe mo so able me jubility now Kofi all these players ever try to lift the Champions League title with Paris Saint-Germain and Swankoye Osman Dembele etimi ayadena say uramu our Champions League numa wabo 8 goals 6 assists and we 2 assists and so our final num and to do one Branton about so deserve the Ballon d'Or but this season a Branton about 54 matches 48 goals contributions in that 54 matches 35 goals 13 assists, League 1 title waje, Coupe de France waje, French Super Cup waje, Champions League waje, diaka UEFA Nations League with the French national team. Na for kwaje Ballon d'Or no, enti Kofi Enra achi Saturday oko Allianz Arena. Supporters of Paris Saint-Germain no mu ewo Allianz Arena no, na Ousmane Dembele enyuma mo toma no Ballon d'Or. Chase omu ewo jidie sa fidie enya de se be fa ne kon ho wo beje. Senti eno Paris Saint-Germain supporters and I just said no more to nyom eno Ballon d'Or nyom Emma Brantef no Ousmane Dembele Kofi that time no ne yiri and in a back that ketwa by one who papa and I know more celebrity our field no so with PSG supporters na and I no pay ya dini na Emma mo na Kofi adeba ko anesa PSG supporters we mo esan anwawade Edima Luis Enrique omudi T4 kase pa Ramu our Allianz Arena nanu Saturday na satifo no na ne ba anidi ane zana ne wonimfo yini eda so obekaya wano Luis Enrique ni days at Barcelona no waji trouble say ya ema ne ba koda ketwa zana ono enso enya cancer wo wuya no ade Barca for flag ebe shining nsam ema ne papa no extra flag nim epe respect ema koda ketwa no enti sa echase mfonyini no ena PSG supporters no womukoye bi eto bana no so ena omudi womu PSG jersey number 8 asha koda ketwa ne din ene zana ena ne papa ekura PSG flag no enti wo he Facebook no so a wo say yes PSG supporters ne tama na players ne ejubilate no no mu e show sa bana na sa satifo no he de kira papa ne din ene Luis Enrique na Kofi say Luis Enrique every final match bia waba no papa no awene wa boy 11 final games wa win sa 11 games ni nyina enti 11 out of 11 papa if Luis Enrique American asem no wa ba be the 6th manager to win Champions League title with 2 different clubs the odi kan bi Luis Enrique papa if Don Carlo Ancelotti after Urama Otma Hotford wanonso bi Joe Hekens bi ana Mourinho bi Pep Guardiola bi and the last one the new one no Luis Enrique are trouble with Bobo Cruyff on Paris Saint-Germain after a decade when you be with Barcelona no we're in trouble with Paris Saint-Germain Obakaya ni days at Barca we need La Liga Copa del Rey and Champions League in a single season we about PSG no we're winning League 1 Coupe de France and Champions League this season and we about the second manager in the history of football to win trouble with 2 different clubs Pep Guardiola and in 2015 was La Liga Copa del Rey and Champions League with Barcelona and at 2025 after 10 years no the tie ani se urama Mame fama tie for say the tie ani sem anyema akoso ye e de ama papa ne din enso ani Luis Enrique with PSG team na wano so etimi age trouble awo ha ye de nyina ema mo anopai awa firikesi so after winning the trouble no Luis Enrique edin kama wose na ni age se ni team no and win Champions League wo ma try afi no monsa kana ni age wo bonem rant na baso
match, what a game, what a result. Can you put into words, what happened after the final whistle?
Well, my feeling now is a feeling of joy. I think we play a really serious final against a very good Inter, but we press them all the time. We create chances from the beginning. We dominate the ball, and I think we deserve to win.
You have made history. Winning the UEFA Champions League is something special, but Paris Saint-Germain has never done it before. How does it feel to be the first in history?
Yeah, that was our objective, our goal from the last year, and the second year we can achieve that. Now we need to continue making history and winning another one, and before we need to enjoy that, and making a lot of people happy is a good feeling.
Ano aya Luis Enrique manager Jinamu Emma Paris Saint-Germain Bobo Konwade Toja no ose Inter players and staff no woma ya de bia ni wadwiri ni papa Inter ane one players they are ane sa wabo page for celebrate no na Inter for no ejina on mo ehwe wo mo na ose enyo bia ne be lusu a obejina on ahwe opponent amana jubilate world football no ebi mu anim how to win but omunim how to lose ose Inter players and staff waited for us to celebrate before leaving the pitch. Or say you win and lose. People know how to win, but only few know how to lose. What they did is a great lesson for Case. I respect them for that. I know I am Sama. Luis Enrique wadi atuja na PSG captain aye Lautaro Martinez. And on also say upon Soma Lusu this final ni no we are proud of PSG Bobo Kona and I say we are proud of Inter for and their tier and say coach Papa Yefana Simeone Inzaghi and the club no supporters no they will musi fast so a support rob no a great wamo and when he said woman anya great season despite say woman timi anwene tied to be this season no also although say mum dear but adonim any say team no try the best was say woman ever try to win it next time and no sama Lautaro Martinez wadi to twa yen so ma see PSG e deserve the win woman bo good match and woman try simple no woman ebetimi akoso try to them and so try no mo try no so no woman ya good results or say this is the very difficult results 5-0 for Ono Yansoma no difficult for him where disappointed now so why proud of the journey Inter for no and so etimi ebaye and no Yansoma Yansoma goalkeeper Emma Inter Bobo Kunode Tuga David Frates in so Kofi yes after full half no and I say full time now we ko confront papa ni tin any Simeone Inzaghi because as one David Frates no nanko expect say papa no aba man abo Champions League this final game because was a goal in the quarterfinals etia Bayern Munich and was a goal in the semi-final etia Barcelona into then ka final where there was a papa no amane ebo bi nso amana mobi Kofi yasi due to that into sa confrontation Akwaaba say Simeone Inzaghi stay with Bobo no aye Inter Milan one David Fratesi ebe fi Inter akọ different place ye nyina nim say the contract no aka 3 years na ni release clause no aye 40 million euros and it says Simeone Inzaghi etna now your club now to me represent 40 million euros now according to reporter Ebano and it's a branch no ebe join that particular club now says Inter in 2024-2025 season they are and it's wamu alusu Serie A title after Super Cup no so no wamu alusu and now Roma Coppa Italia so no wamu alusu Champions League wamu alusu Kofi ni nyina wamu place second Serie A wamu place second Super Cup wamu kobo final wamu place second Coppa Italia no so no they are nkofona intimi anko final wamu ebo semi final and a Champions League wamu ko final wamu place second inti asifimiye papa na PSG team now and so a complete quadruple for the first time in their history. This is the first time wamu aje 4 titles in a single season and PSG Bobo Kono this is the first time wamu win Champions League in their football history and to ko alliance in a dressing room PSG they tie ane se wamu players no wamu jubilate ye e ma chese ani je no bia hu se awrewra wamu ye pa
9, 8, 1.
I know a PSG player say what dressing room na Kofi uko stadium hanswa they tie ane sem PSG supporters no ebimu ETC agopama no so a they tie ane sem na no edinye pa ema security for no epam wabo na so celebration na players ni celebrate no na no eden enti yase ama damage enso apiemu ewo alliance we na pitch ni baby atututu a yase UEFA ebe fine wabo chaso mbetro amaso wamo ebe twasika to amo so na so the attorney se managing director and Georgian Mott ono enso agina mu a wahwe Alliance Arena no echa se ewo mu se damage aba na so mbe fixe na Wednesday game ebe course between Germany and Portugal ewo UEFA Nations League semi-final no Alliance Arena etimi ahostu na Kofi the biggest win margin ewo Champions League abakose mu no eye de na no Saturday e course ewo Alliance Arena into ba Champions League abakose mu a eno and eye margin a chese emu waye pa ananse eso this 2024-2025 Champions League final no e record 5 goals nina for PSG Inter ante 1993-1994 AC Milan eshe Barcelona 4-0 and 1988-1989 Bobo Kefni AC Milan eshe Star Bucharesti 4-0 and 1973-1974 Bayern Munich win 4-0 etia Atletico Madrid na Champions League final game a record goals dodo pano Real Madrid against Eintracht Frankfurt in 1959-1960 and as I gave a team a course so yeka no say Alliance Arena there anytime bia yebabo Champions League final game e ho no we new team nko na unji bi da okwa obeje Kofi de di kan 1979 Nottingham Forest no munji bi da wo mu ekonum ekoje ye 1993 Marseille ekoje ye 1997 Borussia Dortmund ekoje ye 2012 Chelsea ekoje ye and 13 years later 2025 and so PSG akwaje enti Kofi Alliance Arena there a venue bia de ate anesem we new team na unje Champions League ni bi da na wo kwa kobo final e ho nko ade a wo betimi age ama na ye yi a say PSG and our friends no Marseille the only two French clubs wo mu atimi age Champions League ni bi ukọ France team bia do awaji bi aka Marseille and our friends no PSG team no ho na ye kan no 2025 season no aye history makers and our friends no asna ye curse breakers na chasem wo mu na eduabo bi edom so in world football no aso matimi a breaki asan aye record PSG lifted the Champions League title for the first time eye wo mu abakose mu no de te anesem nano and first time mo je Champions League ni bi Tottenham persons no makọ 17 years no mo je title Hurricane so no after 31 years after no wagin first title Newcastle United so no de te anesem 70 years nie after anomadwom first title Bologna so no 51 years no mo NJ trophy wo mo be Crystal Palace wo mo first ever title wo mo eje ye no was the FA Cup against Manchester City enti enye is a crack ayedini nyina enso emamo ene anopai na Kofi enua na PSG team no wo mo ekolande ye e wo Paris abonten so supporters any coaches no de tie NSM wo mo chi om ho up and first no players no supporters no as o my god of anabi and the ama PSG players technical team and board of directors wo mo ewura mu e wo Alliance Arena no and acha so mo church wo mo kama pa enti uba Facebook no so ubenya bi ahwe. This is the time our PSG players in Ebalande, you know, and the day Mamma Kofi and Ransono at the same time. We sign a open top bar celebration. Wamuchi Montenso, Amacha say, dear Eti Anessa Nijani there. Na I was through year papa. I didn't know Mamo and Anope, Akwaaba 98.1. So na Saturday na Numena, Wamuji trophy na Numu Enya Emayano, Kofi Paris police for Achinipa 472 na sa 472 no Kofi ya say ase anije moroso ebi mu ko na ebi nkwapo na yase ntokwa no mu no nipa mienu na ahwere mo nkwa ena anopai yase over be 27 enso aprepra wo mu ewo hospital nemom nipa 472 de ya che wo mo ni nyina aye celebration moroso ene ntokwa no wo mu eko ewo Paris abontenso no ene ma Paris police for no enso etimi eche wo mo a here sa report ni nyina ema mo but enua UEFA Technical Study Group no enso ayi UEFA Champions League Team of the Season na say anete goalkeeper Joeligi Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes PSG, Inter Milan Alessandro Bastoni wamofano and efa Makinos of PSG omo fa Ashraf Hakimi wey defenders omo fa womon afe midfielders no Declan Rice of Arsenal, Vitinha of PSG, afe Rafinha ewo Barcelona, Lamine Yamal ewo Barcelona, Desire Doué and Ousmane Dembele womo nso ewo PSG enti PSG ana omo players no womo dominate ya didi nyina enso ema mu ena anopai womo nya 7 out of the 11 players enye Izekra Barca for enya 2 ana Arsenal for enya 1 ana Bobo Kweno enso aye Chelsea Inter enso enya 1 player ewo UEFA Champions League team of the season na Desire Doué enso anwene Champions League Young Player of the Season award enam ne modibo a wodana dintino wano ena enya sa award no na Kofi Ousmane Dembele nso no Kofi ne modibo nso no ama Branton anwene Champions League Best Player of the Season award into Ousmane Dembele with 15 Champions League matches or boy no was 8 goals enya 6 assists and achasem otimi ebo 2 assists nso no our final game ma dodo na ebo na baso madikinya ka cha mo say this season Branton deserve Ballon d'Or no because 54 games no wanya 35 goals 13 assists and 48 goals contributions and Branton nya League 1 title, Coupe de France, French Super Cup, Champions League ni nyina no Branton agent Kofi according to the power rankings as say e want Ballon d'Or no Ousmane Dembele and LED what the number 1, Lamine Yamal at the number 2, Rafinha at the number 3, Mo Salah at the number 4, Lautaro Martinez at the 5th, 6th João Guitar Roma, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia at the 7th, Pedri Gonzalez at the 8th, and Kylian Mbappe at the 9th, Desire Doué and so at the 10th, and I no pay. Yatini na Emma mom, Abranche for Rafinha, and at the and say Champions League golden boot no, one also I winning 16 goals, and at Washa when your most goals, and your most assists. Sir Abrante fini se ugurase enya 13 goals with Rafinha and also about 13 no Robert Lewandowski esha 11 and oko assist ni muswa wano Rafinha enya 8 ema Ousmane Dembele enya 6 ewo se Kofi Champions League no obi adim said ya waje dodo aya Madrid 15 times AC Milan age 7 Bayern and first no Liverpool age 6 Barcelona age 5 Ajax age 4 Inter Man U age 3 and Chelsea FC Porto Juventus not Forest and Benfica agi 2 and omo maji 1 no so no PSG Man City Dortmund Basel and first no PSV no Oven team beat Sam Aston Villa Feyenoord Mo and Celtic munyina wamo so agi 1-1 ewo a yadini nyina eba mo Kylian Mbappe and so akwakobo PSG fo abaso was we congratulate omo for winning the Champions League title na Nasser El Khelaifi ono aya president Emma PSG bobo kuna say now our mission is to win the FIFA Club World Cup. After the Champions League, we should win the FIFA Club World Cup. That is our mentality. And no, I am Samam, Papa Niti, and Nasser El Khelaifi. What they do? Ghana FIFA Club World Cup in Kofi. This man team one started. You will team beat Palmares, FC Porto, Al Ali, and Inter Miami. Group A, Group B, PSG, Atletico, Botafogo, and first Santos. One more our Group B, Uko Group C, Bayern Munich, Auckland City, and first Boca Juniors, and Benfica. Group D, Flamingo, Esperance, Chelsea. And Lyon and Olympic Lyon nemum Lyon team na womu efi Mexico afe okwa group E no your River Plate Red Diamonds afe Montreal Inter Milan afe group F your Fluminense and your Borussia Dortmund Oslo Hyundai and afe no Mamelodi Sundowns uko group G your Man City with that Casablanca and afe no your Al Ali and Al Ain and Juventus group H no Real Madrid Al Hilal afe Pachuca and Red Bull Salzburg teams also qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup now. The finals of the Champions League results no ebenya impact our papa your friend Simeone Inzaghi ni future ni nyina NS Inter Milan for epeso mu share papa no na for mu no edim kama but according to report I mean say ka NS Nyankopon yadmo chena omu ebehia na for mu finalize bibia Al Hilal for 3 years contract and amano afibia no benya 25 million euros yadini nyina enso ema mu ene anopai yase urama se Akwaaba ni se Simeone Inzaghi kwa Cesc Fabregas favorite Roberto Di Servi Christian Chivu and Patrick Vieira. Abraham Tiffany and Bisek are withdraw from Germany. National team call up on Nina, injure Apeke, Bruno Fernandes and Sono Kofi Al Hilal for a Gusua Sunan whom pushes Misa, a bet me Aka Abrantana, Najian Piero Gasperini after 9 years, Wanunsu Efi Atalanta Bergamo, Wako Johnny Bobo Queno, and so AS Roma, Chelsea for 18 come with Nico Williams, Wamuso Munya Brantana, Wamu Pentomasha se Kasa, and at the Abetomu and Esa Brantef and Lian Dilap, a year first part of the medicals for Chelsea, into a Brantana and Echo Chelsea. Liverpool for expertise omo edi former bid ebekwene for Milos Kekes Bemo 40 million pounds no mudi euro mu omo sia ape abrantani din enso ene for vet na dia mete and it's 130 million euros omo de koye no Liverpool for a demand more na the only option Liverpool for ewo ene so omo de Harvey Elliott ebeka de on ho na for makwa from vet ntia no so ya kakra eba Liverpool for so the 50 million euros eba for Abrantef Luis Diaz ombe somo omo sia pe abrantani D any others no yeah Juma Emma Atalanta, Barcelona joining Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United for Benjamin Sesko no Juma Emma RB Leipzig, Barcelona functional Edin come with Lewis and we a free agent at the end of this month. Man City, Epaso Mourinho Abrantani D and Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante contract. Now so Madrid for na plan say 2026 summer no on back for boy now Tottenham for 18 come with Crystal Palace for Ebrechi Eze at the same time Bayern Munich for Epaso Modino, Ekoka Michael Olise ho, and I pay their mate and it's a Crystal Palace for say, oh yeah, club now open Ebrechi Asia 70 million euros on Saba Kambai now. Trent Alexander-Arnold unimse wanunko ebenya 20 million euros as signing bonus after say Madrid for 10 million pounds. Emma Bobo Kefanum Liverpool no one Abrantef Trent Alexander-Arnold and so no bonus no obenya bi Jewelry Guitar Room yes Man City for air panel. One be sign say obe renew no contract and also obeko and was say young China fame one in pain for encosia and then so you ready mo say Abrantani D and then Kevin De Bruyne ebe join Bobo Kefle Napoli Lazio for and Papa D and Mauricio Sarri a rich agreement and a Tottenham for so no e person mo sake and Postecoglou no mo edi adwuma no Emma Thomas Frank na for be adwuma yes one person mo sake no Matis Cunha and so Manchester United for player 62.5 million pounds and a Manchester United for Etria Abrantano eba Manchester United mo striker no energy Premier League goal of the season
that's bona na tsene kasa me no nsem de si usi atena se ye gwe na enchiremu no onfane de ema ye fa Champions League ye wie entine se omutwa ne tikra nanom du ba bi na Interfor no mo no mo gabisa mo ko PSG fana na nya sam kitokra we say good morning
Kofitago
bibia boko ye de nya mi assist
bia boko pa
yaba
yenche obi o te program no enne anopai enya sem kitwa ye live so Facebook Akwaaba radio brekum and Akwaaba FM afi on all social media platforms
Akwaaba
o de search Akwaaba na Akwaaba na bibia timi aye kama mewa
no yo moda
Kofi for the 5th time at the Munich Stadium yenya another new winner meaning say all the 5 Champions League finals are yabo were the same Munich Stadium hono they be a team NGB da energy now as we spoke about last Saturday PSG has become the new champions of the UEFA Champions League Kofi omudin now ababeka the elites of Europe teams are about European football Kofi on betimi do on say so the elite title no PSG ababe part you see so back Saturday no before say maybe prediction no I told you say per the history of this competition even the omen and the new man Kosubia does not favor Inter Milan. So before making my predictions, say PSG Berlin, I told you that from 2012 to date, I've never predicted a Champions League final. A results are not anchored that way. Before I added, say I'm expecting PSG, say I'm gonna bury in the Champions League. Now, say, the way our finals now unfold here. Honestly, I'm extremely happy for PSG. You see, don't one now so you're very disappointed in Inter Milan. for recording that heaviest defeat in the history of the Champions League final. This is the heaviest defeat. Obi and Wayasha the 5 goals gaboda in the history of the finals.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Kofi, talking of why the 5 goals happened, let me explain. The game itself, Paris Saint-Germain showed they were extremely better. Why? So how our game no a chassia. In fact, me chile before the game will be at say PSG no definitely Inter are going to concede possession to them. They will allow Paris Saint-Germain to play. But you see, there are ways sometimes so concede possession, crowd first to defend it. But Inter first 10 minutes and the approach was wrong. That's what the coach felt. So Inter started, you know. Or me imagine some stay low block. No must stay compact. And you know me narrow in as much say I'm about a 5 back 3-2 in Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram leading the attack, you know. No me is so compact and narrow. And you know me the wide spaces, you know. And the entire pitch almost 85% of the field that war in the PSG in the control. The first 10 minutes at the building of momentum at the time Desiree Doué Kofi Obiemu wide because they wanted to stretch them. Kivicha Kvaratskhelia Obiemu wide and the any player when I saw Obebiano not Sabo so because of our skill set, our dribbles and everything, the ball in the room, and they created 3 chances in 10 minutes. First thing, then the coach switched the approach. So now, because almost stay too deep, low block into PSG Forest started progression from deeper, and there's an idea. First next 10 minutes to 20, you know. Fullbacks in Denzel Dumfries. Abrante and Daddy Federico Di Marco. Among Quaka attackers, no mon press Paris Saint-Germain fall on the high. Ebasana, all the time, the bending for PSG to do the progression. Into almost started sad, you know. Ebasano, first one, Donnarumma switch long bobby. Emma Desiree Doué and a Bastoni pick ball. So it means that side build up no PSG for the ball long baller because of the aggression and the area durability of Asebi no more Makano Kofi na Edene for PSG. So combat to make progression. But here one mistake came. I told you. Say PSG for the ball no more boninti. Looking at the attackers, this skill set no more. And you advisable said Dumfries and Federico Di Marco Kofi or Mobeko high on the attack. Because I isolated Kivicha Kvaratskhelia 1v1 against Saturday. No, I was using Bisek for example. I felt Bisek was the one going to play, but the coach played Benjamin Pavard. And Numpono because Unza Asama make say Bisek, you know, looking at the ball, no, on extremely intelligent. I will bet to avoid even penalty 1v1 take on. In as much as he's been consistent, been solid throughout the season. No? So the coach was scared. And or they will be our Champions League final, our experience in Pavard. But when PSG for started some more year build up near there, Dumfries echo Kelmuno, and they created that chance. Edema Branty and the Desiree Doué at the time. Desiree Doué Dembele almost rotating way free. Who's the Dembele as a center for me? Can't say he's very dangerous because Onyina Faku. Oba game room so ya emfimfi no abeje pass obe breaking defensive line oba left no abe Desiree Doué aba inside not Dembele abe fabo no create no Desiree Doué a create a combine and look Desiree Doué first assisted wabra no nyina ni position again oni Dembele switch here Emma Dembele must have man pass Emma ne Sanchez abra no movie back to the position and looking at the way a PSG for the fluidity of attacking they were extremely better. Who say me say PSG for no in this current gen in transition I mean the most dangerous team to deal with. So I'm a pick ball no I'm deba I'm move ya kwa show say ukore kwan ya Vitinha fast was castrated the third goal foul wa pick ball we deliver pass we yi Dembele the nature fleke ama Vitinha was say try they to Desiree Doué beautiful goal to say they really outclassed them. Third fourth goal similar build up just completely better than them. Even after 4-0 Obian him said they were going to score 5. I'm sure 4 no Obian him said they will score 5 and the on the other side what transnational was a final party because Inter couldn't show up. Ube who money man just ya show no more reacting. They showed nothing and it tells you of a team that was hungry. I told you, said this year Nankasano. So where the story that football is writing now. Teams in that NGGG competition ni bidano. Kofi, so more banner how hungry they are. I tell you. And no be any who here in Paris Saint-Germain. You could feel it. Now look, we'll be about this I do about. I'll give these players some special mention. But first, which one, Mame Luis Enrique, PSG coach, and now he's 55 years. Look, a year past, the last time I can't be with her. Someone for be football has to the level. Someone who said in football, coach is everything. Coaching is everything. Because a bus without a driver, bus and enco. Ship without captain, ship no enco. A plane without pilot, plane no enco. Now in football terms, a football team without a coach, how will it work? Now, Sansona in football. The entire debut make us a coach ye be and said. A good coach, obiente ni opa to them. A good coach. Ebetimi use a mediocre players to achieve something. But a mediocre coach, ebetimi within a split of second has destroy a good team. Say coach or ya de pa no. Coach or ya de no. Obetimi the team ketwa aje trophy bia opebia. Team of players no kra no omunye galactico omunye top aje the opebia. But coach awasa no. Kofi obetimi the word they combine 11. Bomb of Beshano.
Yes.
Or many players papa we are seeing now, he will destroy that team. And the Luis Enrique ba PSG. Man for break say minim nipa baako pe say mimi who no say coach no omwa PSG. So PN say this man no oye good and we now wasa ye no. Ebe ade another record, another respect. E dia candidate ho. And then after 10 years J treble in 2015 with Barcelona. In fact, no Barca for after 10 years first almost 7 J. But now Luis Enrique out the Barca J, 10 years interval 2015 2025 was J treble. Now PSG season win a quadruple with this very coach. In fact, Sena League no person call unbeaten and unbeaten because he won the league at the time. I know he unbeaten, but he decided to put his priorities elsewhere. All the 4 trophies they've won, telling you the kind of coach Luis Enrique, particularly at the time and in the team, every single quality at this very generation. Kofi, our current generation, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, yes. Defenders, generation best defender Ramos, Omotono. Play onimbo boy generation 20th, 21st century Messi, Omotono. The any names of Babedi na dey Neymar, Omotono. Neymar ni enim say Neymar ntimi Mbappe obo 8 years. They bought every single, it didn't work out. But with a coach, Akofini players and then money man be known. And yes, I the anka on fair the can say PSG players for obebre
pass true pass.
What does he? But then he's been able to achieve something spectacular, something top coaches from Ancelotti, Tuchel, Pochettino. You can mention and mention. So for Luis Enrique, this was so special. Very, very special. Ironically, Barcelona, in fact, Man City, had a treble last 2 years. Yeah. Now they won the treble at the time. I know first ever Champions League final. It was against which team? Inter Milan. And then PSG treble. First ever Champions League final against which team? Inter Milan. Now I told you, sir, this very game, Nankasano, even the Omen doesn't favor Inter to win this. Yeah. Again, the stadium doesn't favor Inter to win this. The season doesn't favor Inter to win it because it was a season of more JJ trophies. NGB da no more GB ache. Venu na here bono all the time. Team NGB da 79 Nottingham Forest on GB da oje 93 Marseille on J Champions League da the same stadium oje 97 Dortmund on J Champions League da oje 2012 Chelsea on J Champions League da oje and the same stadium they crowning new champions. Yes. Marseille first Champions League, French team, or the free Inter, and or the AC Milan and Milani club. So every single team show
98.1.
So looking at this very record, looking at this very history, a team and the PSG and Nane and you see, baby, and mom, I was saying, was when we saw PSG fans, almost saying that Tifo, Jana Tifo, coach in the bar, Jana. You see, Akrano. Time one Barcelona edge treble in 2015 no 5 years and Kofi at the time so already the way Luis Enrique any Accra ni di agro on the field videos no mu tumrika onzo ade ne tra Champions League ne so aha ode ne atena okuta flag eduru baabi na Accra ni te se Lami Yama nua na bia fast forward obi Accra be popular te se Lami Yama nua why popular obi anim I say Fordin Baroni why popular obi anim no in 2019 on diagnosing is wanya bone cancer after 5 months Accra na wu and where football was shattered. Spain at the time coach Spanish national team on the family in fact Cristiano Ronaldo Trobibi Mbappe the football word Messi Obia and the Obia that so Kaija Nana were free mono and the time one about game no Luis Enrique said it. In fact, Nico to a guiding it to date was what he said. On himself spending 9 years with Nebajana na wuno. But Ojidi ye pa says Jana no wona we will be guided on the family no to be great because that 9 years na crana you know because on over 1,000 memories. Our officer every single thing obey here divine intervention no. This child ni soul will prevail. And no and they show. So when the fans showed that. And then after the game, in fact, when Real Madrid congratulated Luis Enrique, no, said they know this is also for Jana. PSG, control the same thing. Said this victory is for Jana. Paris, Barcelona, congratulating, no, they didn't forget this child. Even though we're free. Papa now post match and said 12 for crown forget it, not to talk about Noah never. And I mean, Papa now had very beautiful story to write. Sabe o de be hye ne baba no animunyam now PSG players ne de enye won say ye wie Champions League ni ye di team of the season beto ho a omonko 7 this year's Champions League so don't forget ya buy more 30-16 for the first time ever new format no the PSG player goalkeeper Donnarumma Hakimi number 2 Marquinhos 4 Obubo Nuno Mendes Abrante ni dia de Vitinha Dembele, Dizaridwe. These are the Paris Saint-Germain players that made it to the team of the season. Why? Because see, this club of generation, they will be remembered in the history books of Paris Saint-Germain forever. It is also an invincible squad. No? There is no Arsenal fans to forget them. What I say? Now, it is because of something. What then? Quality players, good football, coffee, scintillating and exciting display. And when I this is the time for Paris Saint-Germain. Coffee, could you believe this way? 19 years. And he's playing like this. The confidence. Champions League final. The youngest ever French player to play in the Champions League final. But he scored 2. He assisted on your man of the match. Was Sanche Womo Papa? What did you say? I said this is doing starting ahead of Bakula. Yes. He justified that. Yes. Clearly. And look, this is iconic. On celebration or no okon run atade no eto so and obedina no pagya nensa but is all cast an atade no run referee man yellow card but it is not about the yellow card it is about the moment ninyoma na abrante ne here on the field of play no Dembele Kofi he's been extremely influential. In fact we game ni bia be sampa they had a leader and the only player of the season no and well deserved. And it comes back with a beautiful story of how even the Champions League, or even the Arsenal game, coach had dropping fast forward, only coach now reconciling his comeback. And then Dembele has been that Dembele that we've seen this season, and every single thing, the ultimate is a full Muslim. That's a new crowd and also then the family deserves this very one. Kofi Hakimi. Boys in Adam for Hakimi. 2 Champions League. I say what I'm for Revisa 2018 on the Madrid Champions League. He played 2 matches for Honor. And in the second Champions League, he scored. This season, Hakimi goes as a fullback plus assist. Idea was 20 plus goals and assists over 23. Okay. And he tells you say throughout the Champions and quarter finals he scored against Liverpool. He scored the semi-finals. Now in the finals too he has scored. And the now no Coupe de France he scored. And the important games and so Hakimi actually says season way there in the season but among the players. Meaning say Obia Omania Giamano Mensumania Giamano Onwenia Giamano Marquinhos. Why? Because since 2013, Marquinhos free Roma bar PSG. Kofi Marquinhos team be happening though from Madrid, Barcelona, Premier League. Oh, be happening because he's shown that standard. Say an elite AS centre back, Brazilian as well. We are partner with Thiago Silva. We are partner with a lot of centre backs. Presnel Kimpembe, talk of them. We are both Champions League final first time with PSG. They lost. Players they come and go. They say Marquinhos in here, but he stayed, kept the belief. As a captain, was able to lift the trophy. So it was so special for Paris Saint-Germain fans, no. And intina omoji omoni there, Eden Tokwane adiaba no. What I say? And now omoni police follow. Police ni ba kubufu aso mi enchiro say omuntimi yen. No mu di omachi. Yes, omachi nipa na omachi omoni because adena turn chaotic and it is unfortunate. Say anije ni mom and the problem, and it was expected because PSG fans, you know, even inside the stadium, now they were looking wild. It should tell you so crowd will do worse. Yeah. Inside the stadium, Parc des Princes, also the TV could see her. Baby, I know so it was too much. And it is because a extremely special night and no munya, you know. Now, the last time, me can same way, and then me trinity. Me catch you say. PSG lose on first Champions League no. Maybe more motivation be. And I'm repeating here no Saturday. Say in the history of this competition, I've never seen a dynasty or I've never seen a generation. A team be abenya rich investors, rich owners, escafo mudu musika abeshe team in Europe trying to win something. To say Champions League, omenti mi anjibida. All the time. May a Hamburg example. Time a Japanese investment. No more ba Germany. Until they as part of omo say Germany for you omo to no started so omo sponsor Hamburg. Omo invest in Hamburg SV. Omo the Champions League. I cited the example of AC Milan. Silvio Berlusconi. For AC Milan, the generation of Arrigo Sacchi, players of Tobaye, they won the Champions League in abundance. I cited the Bernard Tapie example of Olympique Marseille, the French politician who decided to invest hugely. The examples are plenty. Chelsea, Roman Abramovich, Obaye, investment huge. And the recent was Man City. Omo invested huge. What did they do? They won it. So Saturday night I told you, say Nasa Akalafi over billions of euros and I was spending players and Odiaba. But you know, he's hoping for that one object, that number one target, Champions League. No, I'm winning Champions League. It is like a dream. Do you know why? Because he's been dreaming of winning this. The investment, the technical team, Luis Campos, and no more was to make sure say a day like this will come. I'll be rainy day. So this is what he said. Because if you told me you are going to win 5-0, I will say it's impossible. So no muka jane sen komo ko share 5-0. Possible. It is amazing for France. It is not just for Paris. France deserves better. We have good league, good clubs, and I'm sure we are going to get better as a result of French club winning this title. The team proved that we have the best manager in the world and the best players. Now it tells you, say, after all, the mayor of Qatar, the Qatari Sports Group, any investment on Mabeye with Paris Saint-Germain has finally paid off. Has finally yielded results. Afi, me your transfers kakrebi. Kofi, the Sun Football Friend exclusive with regards to Thomas Partey. Now there's a new update. Omo exclusive nature say a story omo na akunya. And reading through the story, they've spoken to some people from the camps of Partey and then Barcelona. Why? Omo say Barcelona for Kofi right now they are interested in signing Partey on a free transfer. To put this in perspective, Junior Iwomi 30th Partey contract who Arsenal, he will be a free player. No, now the current situation is that Arsenal for no a person Partey consider a very huge pay cut. Nobody says can it be to your players no motor or more de banaka in Zubimendi Numa on Besham Mayfield. In as much as Arteta explaining publicly say he wants Partey to stay, no. In terms of negotiation, it's not been that wide. On Chile that commitment in terms of the contract renewal. And the Partey and so in the agency and in the family in the camp, if you say nah, as Arsenal phone show more than what they've shown so far to say we interested in Thomas Partey to stay because Omar transfer the contract na dey anesa. Now they can't see the Paris the Juventus rumor Akwaaba say Partey betuma akọ Juve yet Atletico Madrid say almost say pen back and also now Barcelona and the latest club according to the Sun exclusive report and say Barcelona phone feel say omo hear somebody who is matured, experienced, no say very good to add to their midfield options. And the Partey, yes, this next month July he will be 32 years. Onya Akwaaba there. But I mean they won't spend a penny. Again, unim say Barcelona still omunyan jeje omun free financial fair play nim sa. In the every signing omo ye careful, particularly when they are considering more than one signing. Again, omo pe goalkeeper, omo pe striker, and they want to augment the midfield plus a winger. And because of the players from opening the so omunya Partey on a free they believe and they have some good African history. Barcelona generation be has had an African player Kofi Obua. So Barcelona nya Partey eba be share midfield at the more. I think it will be very good for Partey and will be very good for us. I was very interested in this very story, but it depends on how far Barcelona will push. Honestly, say Sikana Barcelona de bema Partey no. Say ne Arsenal de na Partey si esu na ye pekura onjai Arsenal onko Barcelona. You find say salary no or Jose Partey £250,000 a week. Now say Arsenal beating it down one they buy even £100,000. Now Arsenal Barcelona so money the same amount. Onjai Arsenal on copy Barcelona. Now the final one still has to do with Arsenal. Again, this one is from Florian Plattenberg or Juma de Sky Germany. Now Plattenberg is another guru in transfers, and omo follow transfers in him. Say the Federico way Gianluca Di Marzio, Fabrizio Romano, and no. These are gurus, and when they talk about DB, they are almost eminent. Now to them, almost say Benjamin Sesko, they say talks Asan Koso. Now already, Arsenal per Nioma Koso this season. Nioma Koso throughout the entire season. Again, Arsenal coach in Arteta after missing out the Champions League. This very summer transfer, Arsenal will sign a striker. But to who they will sign is the biggest question. Now, Arsenal agree personal terms with Victor Gyökeres. I'm a player not just on a personal level. Diaka and they say on be activity only 58 million.
And Arsenal that's what
Sporting CP. Now Arsenal had gone to ask about Benjamin Sesko. Now Arsenal Sporting Director Andre Bata. The Oba Only Michel Safa, also your Sporting Director Emma Leipzig. I share this weekend the Champions League in Equatorial. I'm discussing Akwaaba. Now Benjamin Sesko on one on a personal level NG Arsenal terms in M2.
Oh, okay.
And he even say Arsenal agreed to meet the price of Leipzig. And it's still subject to Sesko. Say Obejatum. Okay. Now here's where Arsenal for that no Sesko is 22 years. Agreed. And he future. But when you've agreed personal terms with Victor Gyökeres, even though Gyökeres is 26, but my catch was looking at the numbers still. Where am penny? Where they saying Sesko no?
Yeah.
Last season, Osher 14 goals in the Bundesliga. This season, Osher 13 goals. Now this Bundesliga league, in fact, check the goals Haaland scored. 99 goals in 101 matches. 99. Bundesliga way. Harry Kane last season he had 26 goals. This season 32 or 30 something. That is the benchmark of an elite striker in the league. So elite striker will league in numbers are Odemano. Gyökeres on the other hand, Kofita goal Mekachi was the last season in all competitions. He scored 64 goals. This season in all competitions 62 goals.
Akwaaba.
League in Kwa 39 goals in the Sporting League. Now Sesko, Bundesliga, in all 64 matches, 27 goals.
Wow.
And when you compare, you may say in this modern generation, under the guise of Osa, no nyina obehunu bo no among for their top players among be diagu instead of buying the elite who is ready now for Arsenal situation Mikel Arteta doesn't have time to bring in a player or change say next 5 years. He needs a player that will come and hit the ground running. What I say? Why? Because player here can say in Chesco 13 goals. Now 13 goals to the second half at even there are players who are good numbers. Nkunku ba no. No I said 24 goals so say in the league. Chesco 30 on went to Chelsea. Timo Werner Obano. No I said goalkeeper waje 28 goals da waje 21 goals goalkeeper erukwado ojabe 10 matches but this player has not even matched 15 goals in the Bundesliga and funny Gyökeres na on division 39 goals a season 35 goals a season league season nko whole year no 64 goals 62 for the past 2 nimi no he's costing only 58 million euros. This player is costing 70 million pounds, over 85 million euros under the guise of Osa or Yakra. In all honesty, Shesko height, he will give you the attacking presence, but on your consistent. Again, Shesko is no different from Darwin Nunes. Even to me, Darwin Nunes will be better than Shesko. And this Arsenal for is a striker, and then go for Darwin Nunes better than Shesko.
Me da say no Aye Hussein Adams and out and Kasamana Ninsem what they see or the free Champions League final game and no memenda as course so Monique Abonte so Paris it's me as a canunum ama intentimiante no be wie transfer window Arsenal for a German say so mo echo akwa press no ehun sem ana esi what asore so a Osin eba na otimi edine de ama we wia na de aka ne yato aso fiase ha Akwaaba radio 98.1 your live on Facebook Akwaaba radio brekum was say the champion station in town we preparation to the messenger whatever was say the best sports show is live from Indianapolis Kumasi Tanaso Kesman Junction is the main location from Pedro Madrid Cruz in the messenger what the abandon was say good work from Boate Kato okay God's time aluminium so yeah that's it Boatin Ketiama Yanchao and Anopi say we do message you know it's me Eddie Abba and so it's me a year for a dozen was it good morning Kofi was I'm watching live from Vietnam was it keep the good work for Brekum and Ghana yeah that's it Benjamin Asante the messenger on so Eddie Abba na Yantwaso was it good morning Akwaaba team was it Hala Madrid the most valuable club in the world. Okay, disaster Ibrahim, the messenger on so Eddie Abanon. Was it good morning, Tago? Was it you and your crew? I'm watching you live. I'm watching the show live and clear. At what? Kwesiba. My name is Francis Akwaaba. Papa, yeah, that's him. Say audio message, you know, it's me, Eddie Abba Nanopi, and then so ye Eddie Efro. A dosso, my income, Nedia Canon, Ibini Infra Bra. Ocean, good morning.
Morning Tago.
Bibia Boko.
Bibia Boko na nso ho ye.
Nango pardon. Bibia Boko.
My voice na style kakra.
Yeah.
Tiefo ho do nti. So ye be som.
Sa.
Na nso ho ye de.
Boko.
De yomi ase.
Boko.
Tago.
The tactical man Ocean.
Kofi Tago no.
Yo. Ma yente we muda pa.
Tago.
Yeah.
Me da se.
Otade nso wato so pa o.
Yes. Tago. Mato ade no so.
Aye ni neat. Why ade? You, ma yente we.
Kofi.
Yeah.
Answer na me ura nse nimu no. Ma yente audio we.
Okay.
Na baso. Na e baba fan na Munich. Na we the records no kire ne de a. E favor Paris Saint-Germain.
So
na Kofi. 30th May nyamure. 31st May nyamure. But obi antre we into Paris Saint-Germain na beje trophy no.
Paris Saint-Germain
na beje Champions League no. Omuni Inter Milan bo ni nhia. Paris Saint-Germain na beje Champions League no.
Okay.
Because of one the coaching question the experience. Any the venue aye kobo game no ne say anytime e bebo UCF fan na wo Munich no. Aye obi on GB da outside winner na eji. Nottingham Forest aye bi 1917 against Mamo FF. We are no free wa Chelsea ekoye bi ho 2012 eno kra na ba ya Munich na ebo homo o de no beto nche 1997 Dortmund the first Champions League against Juventus no ho a Until records ni bibia nso ye den. E favor team e friend Paris Saint-Germain.
You the octopus.
Tago.
The okomfonoche.
Tago. Who's a fans baby dey huru?
Rosi Zen. Ale Enzotopia.
Yes. Kofi me can say way if May. Barely 3 weeks to the final. And I can say Inter Milan share PSG enye
yie.
Na ade a me kan ye si a ye me den say me ka say omobo ni nhia kra. And now no Saturday obi ahun say no omobo ni nhia. The heaviest defeat recorded in the history of Champions League final. Now in the record books, Tago, ABC in 1994, AC Milan share Barcelona 4-0. Obaha no asen akoachi akoe 1960. Madrid share enter Frankfurt 7-3. AC Milan share Steaua Bucharest aye 4-0. Ena omo share 4-0 ena na no Saturday Paris Saint-Germain aye that record no the widest and the highest margin of victory recorded in the final of the Champions League. Now the mediation in common say the tactical work and the tactical board. Inti Richmond I ready obi amra Facebook na yenko screens no so na fe yemfa tactical work ne ento mfa mamo. Me da sepata go. So when the first picture ya Richmond there 2 screens no so a ade I catch on say Paris Saint-Germain for up Inter Milan for in their own half. Now before the game me catch them say game me a highly tactical game. And the coach tactically on more than answer any and tactically went me any things right, you know. You will suffer so much. And it's also in this case a born to Paris Saint-Germain. Ashraf Hakimi invented a bedane method and a bedane shadow striker. Now Kofi Baby Hakimi didn't say now you see Paris Saint-Germain France they will form a 3-back shape with the ball. Now about form a 3-back shape because also Hakimi move Akwaaba attack and a method no huntino. Ya baba me abrante efani aye Vitinha say ono so move at the about right side ho trying to help abrante efani Hakimi. Until they will form a 3-back shape abrante efani William Pacho, Marquinhos and abrante efani Nuno Mendes. No ma form a 3-back shape so every aspect of play biano, every department on the field of play biano, you see Paris Saint-Germain for no say or more presence enti anu na didi mu at the first goal no be now right when you move on after next picture eto so now sir on the next picture no to so thank you very much now Luis Enrique ade bi edibiti Simone Inzaghi na experience is always the best teacher in this instance say now who say Inter Milan for no without the ball almost shape no 5-3-2 low block 5-3-2 low block. Now or so I mean or the low block and the Inter Milan defensive shape no. And the other end say or pass it ball or starting the build up now from the back deep in the midfield because or you so high line over the position of Petro and my king was a child say with the ball no PSG phone a so high line. Now the other say or person that Inter Milan for no. Now Inter Milan for almost 5-3-2 low block shape no sasa. Ebe 4-4-2 mid block from 5-3-2 low block to 4-4-2 mid block. And in this instance without the ball, once of Inter Milan shape no sasa ba 4-4-2 low block. And lose 1 man from the back instead of almost 5-man defense and about 4-man defense. Ni you don't hear say or yes I dey any plan or the other say or they attract Inter Milan fullbacks in the shape of Federico Di Marco and Danzo Dumfries. Say ombe move out of omu position. Now omu move no. Ubenya omu wingers Dembele and Desiree do a say.
Akwaaba.
They will make diagonal movement and a diagonal runs any wide movement. Now the entire wide movement they say omu dey attract wide center backs no. Because Inter Milan 3 center backs Achebi, Bastoni, Pavard. And the omo dey attract out of omo position where then no man start to say omo attack sa spaces na why center backs no ejeja dia to no ni nyina no say opese o disorganizing Inter Milan for no omo low block defense no enti eno ena ya dia papa friend Luis Enrique now for next picture no to so now so the next picture no to so a Obanwa branch FN Desiree Doué. Look at Desiree Doué in the position. Desiree Doué or no will move and attack the inside channels. Now so move and attack the inside channels now. Or Inter Milan for or back train I disorganized dada. I already disorganized into where be a Bastoni ababejina. There be a power ababejina. Enti wonya a case of space or bet me decide say only Hakimi bet mabo 1-2 because when who say a branch FN Di Marco no will move up in the position and the Marco wabre or Champions League we move power man for nsem yama tetel na akraketo adue so tetel enti wama Di Marco move out of the position and say space can say ababeto between the left sided center back in the shape of Bastoni any branch FN Di Marco. And the desire do any acres of space and allows you of time to attack that space now either between Baston and Abrante and Dimaco and Terminal. And the tactically and Casano, coach F. Luis Enrique Chires or a penny a woman Mwampa. Now, before the game, me can say one sometimes yana coaches no on TV must how they do their pre-game analysis. Pre-game analysis in it, say move game nasia. Uwe opponent na obehia no uwe na ho ode no wahwe ni weakness no say no say me attack na me fine attack no me ngina sen ana me nye sen any every pre-game analysis no enti me need pre-game analysis as Simone Inzaghi and the boys ni before the game in the sense Kofi two players are omo secret weapon from tactical point of view Luis Enrique here Juma Paye Dembele and Hakimi. Now Hakimi no operating as invented a midfielder and I invented fullback. No move fracture about midfield. And to about midfield, what do you so in midfield? He will try to find space out front to operate as a shadow striker. And it's all right. Hakimi move anymore no. Obi anyone who mark no. And it's all first goal now. It was a true pass and an incisive pass from my brown TFN Vitinha. And what the man branch FN Desiree Doué. And because of some man people an eagle eye on a branch FN Hakimi Intino, he found the right space at the right time within the box. Our branch FN Desiree Doué pin about man no bien. It was just a simple tap in, a simple finish, and what the body a day. At what Tenamudi be a good down. And what I was happy in this one celebrating because Inter Milan and the former team after moving from Madrid, I acquired Dortmund in Mulo no. Inter Milan and a man they established fullback into one day one side with a go no. Now no about before Brante Fen Dembele. Require Desiree Doué go no. The second go no fast by. My catcher must say off the ball. Dembele no o move bebre ewa ni mu on just striker be kwa jina ni mu so be or train ball and e be a mon supply no. And the Dembele ya no say Piaji for e be attack a o move the free boss room. About deep in midfield. Into about deep in midfield that a man wingers no extras or move into space because then barely anybody in no twin defender no or draw out of opposition. And to draw branch FN Pavard any Danzo Dumfries out of opposition. And to where the night na flick free ball no to a chile. No beyond him say beyond the ball no crop pass ya kwanimu and then barely then na ibo no kwa chira can't amutisi in time and chia do the question his second goal no. And it go be from tactical point of view. When idea is see here, and clearly, Luis Enrique Chile said tactically, only Majumana and what more so. In fact, also Simone Inzaghi and you could in a classroom then. Actually, it was a total domination and a dominant display from Team FN and Paris Saint-Germain in terms of shot. Even in the first half, Inter Milan and Team more shot on target impo. Actually, said no more at the amamo. In the game, Paris Saint-Germain about 23 shots. Our Hasi into clearly Pierre Phone deserve say winning game no in all aspect of the game omo dominate play bibia coach no enya tactics right ni bibia how the call game no be an approach no onya right now Kofi sometimes say one should yes see our brabom etwam amfa nsua bibi obese repeat the same mistake in future. Now in 2009-2011 Manchester United elusu Champions League finals mienu to one team Barcelona. Now mistake in Alex Ferguson no similar mistake in Simone Inzaghi no Saturday in a sense one accepted the underdogs approach clearly na Inter Milan underdogs overwhelm underdogs enti omukwa game mu no so mujitu so mo underdogs omuntimi ne Paris Saint-Germain for nkoto to toe. Manchester United be share Barcelona in 2009. So what players are Man United work? Any ball Man United born that see any experienced coach na mo dey banner. They first no bet match Barcelona easily. Omo njentun say omo ye underdogs. Omo quite arrogant and anye. The same mistake year in 2009 and 2011 Wembley. And also the same game Manchester United and Gentun say underdogs against Barcelona. They first they can go toe to toe against Barcelona. Umbeti Barcelona abo. And amoni ba mo so na kwa 3-1. That game na Alex Ferguson to an and say also no. Some be kai ni ya. Enti Inter Milan also na omunjitun say omuye underdogs. Enti the underdog approach and a approach game no. Instead of them to believe, so you bet Marco toe to toe against Paris Saint-Germain, no, they a wrong approach. No muntim, no munya day, and think na say on where the elbow. Now you see, Inter Milan conceded 5 goals. Na enyanwa say Inter Milan na conceded 5 goals. In a sense, go here. Inter Milan after group stages, you bet na bo mambaso can say ya no mo bebo bo ne dia. Ye omu ye and omutimi kodu final. Kofi adia Inter Milan ye in the group stages in the knockout stage omu lusu sadia no. They lost their defensive solidity touch. Adia ma ye mu bi etip Inter Milan say hu be ye hu our Champions League ni mu no. Kam teach ni kwa ni mu no na sadia na yira. Now Kofi, this is the team in the group stages after 8 matches. Inter Milan conceded just 1 goal against Leverkusen. Just 1 goal. And at death, and I'm conceded a goal. No. Now, in the group stages, from round of 16, quarter final, and semi final, only goals are Inter Milan conceded 10 goals.
Wow.
Who conceded 1 goal in the group stages? Now, in the knockout stages, who conceded 10 goals? Actually, say, time who qualify free group stages but knockout stages no adia ma ye tepe wa na adia na wo ana teams every on team in Inter Milan lose sadia no that defensive solidity no right and in the final after the game say Inter Milan conceded 5 goals mama ni nwa Barcelona nko ahye ne say Barcelona man 7 goals also 6 goals and clearly Inter Milan elusu that defensive solidity because you knew here no Italy and I say Inter Milan team it is built on defensive solidity and you coming up against such opponent or attacking minded team are very dangerous in attacking situations you know. No idea be dey ebe how now Kofi magia tum say nei enya mi nko na magia to po coaching for the past 20 years coaching is paid. Even though Italy more produce great coaches, Argentina more great coaches, but coaching is Spain. Why am I saying this, Tago? Your papa even Luis Enrique Adiawaye say we're the second team in the history of football. Only 2 teams are get treble. Coach Yodi kind out here Sambaku say ni bin Pep Guardiola with Barcelona and Manchester City. And they in the same contest. We are adding Luis Enrique's name to the list. In a sense, we are at the Paris Saint-Germain for a quadruple. Or magic quadruple every trophy beer this season. Papa na jedi amomo. And you see, in the first season,
8
on the semi-final of the Champions League, and he got so close. But because of PSG, how they disappoint us in the Champions League, Abakuse Muntino. This is the competition starting. Obia Anfanadri and PSG, so particularly Luis Enrique. So, but no nim there no way there no nim team man no person way there or hye enti eney so who ka coaches they've won every trophy. Guardiola in 2009 Oji 6 topo is in France no mo compete of 5 competitions 4 competitions mo ye bi ababa club world cup na kan Luis Enrique go fi or the Barcelona dey 5 trophies o me edru ba bi no na me sheda njini because onya nema Messi and Abrante fe Luis Suarez enya Iniesta Javi Rakitic mo ndi afos o ti we dey coach bi abeya yikitu abi obetuma den aye bibi but Kofi Papa no prove me wrong. I'm one of the greatest coaches of all time. Listen also Luis Enrique Diabaka home. Say discussing Luis Enrique with the achievement of the PAGI coaches upon coaches. Thomas Tuchel, Ontiman Foreman, Joba Chelsea no Abeji, Carlo Ancelotti, mention of Pochettino, coaches upon coaches about PAG or Mantiman Yedumano. But the reality is that Luis Enrique define all the also a nay. What the Champions League gonna be the history maker. What be monumental achievement? Ediama Paris Saint-Germain team no. Here go be rich one fa. Paris Saint-Germain picture na almost spending senator so. And sana ma be canceling we. Now go be in 2020 now omo first final no. Almost spending 635 million euros. Omo ntimi anje Champions League no. Bayern Munich je free omo nsem. And then Paris Saint-Germain are spending relatively cheaper amounts, 471 million euros, and they are magic Champions League. Now, the difference between South Project, and I say Paris Saint-Germain team no after Sakata for never in 2011 no. Omo me etia say omo de omo beto Galacticos, Galacticos signings. Omo build omo team based on individual performances. Enti player biya be unity biya no say player na je pere nkwana they can pay any amount. Enti in football history team wa yi sika pudu akoto player ba ko Paris Saint-Germain in a sense omo yi sika 222 million euros at the cover name alone. A on spending power, a the financial muscles of Paris Saint-Germain ewo. And what you cover the magician Messi, no man covers Zlatan. No more the Ramos are by do baby also who the 4 players in poor Magic Champions League going be playing. Keylor Navas, Ramos, Wijnaldum. Ninyi namu Dani Alves. Ninyi namu Paris Saint-Germain Enti and the new coach Luis Enrique. Any say sporting director fan of campus or Portuguese. And I'm so say no. Ye team ni sabiem. Ne mom no ya beto French players. Any young players. Omo dey build a team no on them. Now, your team no yam building on individual talent biem. And the papa can say Mbappe are the last person else our project ni mu no. Okwa ni team be ye without Kylian Mbappe and he's been vindicated ene anopay. Chere say Luis Enrique di 2 days ono ni team. Say season end no nya 4 players mo bia say 12 goals. And you better than one player be say over 40 goals. On san will pay the team. And this as a trainer say he believes in collective effort. Obian fan na who the contribution bra when sombi. And it's already appear the team now. And there a team be a sure more brand say we are united. Lusuba within seconds no man recover. They play with intensity. They play with togetherness. And clearly team beyond Kofi, our touch no, and as element no, and it's very difficult for any opponent to play against. And the man is being vindicated and anopay into PG project na abua. The next thing I want to talk about is we should begin to put respect on the French league. And the Farmers League near there. Everybody Guardiola want to dominate the Premier League here. And so most are the best league in the world. I didn't and the man can say Farmers League. Champions League, Real Madrid and Quade, what you do also in England teams in combine. Real Madrid and Champions League, you imagine also in Italian teams combine. I didn't hear the man can say Farmers competition. But because Paris Saint-Germain dominate to France, Musi and not the Farmers League. Why? Because attention and Saranya any so sad. But then, me assure, so beyond your follower French football will feel very proud. teams now Paris Saint-Germain share in the Premier League or teams in or first or second or third or shobia. And then we bedroom final before the final or share Arsenal. Kofi Arsenal no share no. Arsenal share Real Madrid home and away. Now in the Champions League team be about to win Real Madrid no. What it means is that we are favorite to win the competition. But I bet you PSG no. PSG humble no. PSG share Arsenal home and away. And clearly PSG actually say French league and your famous league. They say they respect. Mo deserve the to or mudi so. Kofi in football po adia your friend omen and spirituality juma based on your belief. Now me catch on say in 1961 62 Bala Gatman the Hungarian coach Eddie Benfica Eddie Champions League papa ni no this fataman famana all who obomudia some back 100 years Monte Cup European trophy. Lo and behold, Benfica call 8 European final ni inana trophy na paromo. Before that, Benfica edge Champions League me 61 62 no. Omo Barcelona ne Madrid do. Nti a kire se na omo ho eden. But after some incident na after some case no, Benfica elusu 8 European final e dey be see ene. Odi ene beto nchen. No wa read the venue na final ne course no. Ya be ka kire mo say anytime bia e be bo no mini ko ho no. Aya team on GB the first timers. Amo munji UCL ni bi da no mo na eje. And the records are there to show. Me catch us in 1979, Nottingham Forest Eshe Mambo. In 1997, Dortmund Eshe team FN Juventus. Chelsea Eche team now on one park. Bayern Munich no eje trophy ni free nsem. Enti upo omen eye adwuma. Now the emphasis me kan ina no say papa no wo ababa wo bi e fe ne Zana. Na 6 years ago na ababa wo ni free. And the Luis Enrique says so akwa ni Mame fie Luis Enrique na Mame te ase. Na ni Mame ani akpala ni e close ne sorry yes ne nana nti e beka say ne nana oni abofra ni e close. And you also akwa ni Mame fie a onfa picture bi a modan ho a mo de kai akpala no. Obisa ne Mame na ne Mame say ohu picture na ya na awre ho na ye dodo. And the papa the last time I urge Champions League with Barcelona. Any the last time I celebrate trophy no. Now Abafran e wo hobby. But then Abafran in tears because o yare born no cancer a owu yenti. And this year bisan wo interview bi ase a. O say Dozana is gone, but he is with them in spirit. And wo gidi e pa say ne ba no owu ya no ne honhom and supporting wade bia oyemu. Enti ne ba no kode ba bi omu obi ano ne ba no ye de e wo omo nchen in spirit. And go for pompo spirituality ye. Now to the standard performance. The first player on my list is Desiree Doué. Kofi me be ka branti asem kire mo ha say barely 4 months ago. Now at the highest level of European football, Abranti no be hu quality. Now Abranti ben Desiree Doué in French word near friends in English a desire gift from God. Sana se chirete. Now about the same tournament now already Chiomeni boy a fan in New footballer. The same tournament na be na Desiree Doué boy. Now go fi offering Angers France. Na ne Mame e French ni and na papa e Ivorian. Ne papa fi Côte d'Ivoire. Go fi ball Abranti no bo na ehu. Oni ball bo too much. Nyame admo chena no obenya 20 years. But born Abranti no bo ni mfie ni nse ene football ni enkola na ebo. Oni ball bo papa. A well deserved man of the match award, scoring 2 goals for final, providing an assist na chire adwuma Abranti na dey aye. Enti ya mom abaso. Can you check for scary as go this season there in the season. Napoli onya medal. Yeah. Who say ofri ho winter transfer na ba PSG. Na ofri ho no. Na ni din e wo list no ye register no. Enti Conte e di Napoli e di Scudetto no. E di medal asma mo de ko. Okay. And Paris Saint-Germain so ade quadruple every trophy be more than AG. So what a season for Abranti and we are Abranti na we man can't say my wingers are wingers. back of the most technically gifted winger say me who be that.
Wow.
Ajibon or a traditional winger and adding modernity and kind of game no and or the ball ba who the go no or pick a ball and I'm say SMS or the left he gave the keeper no chance and I force a blunt and I idea so what Georgia nim says so Georgia for ambassador
you
Georgia Maradona is for man more Paris Saint-Germain so what a performance to remember.
Me that say I know I had a tactical man Ocean and now Tenica say I'm an insect or didn't SC Champions League games of course and as a game of course and I know Memendano emuno matututu ma de esa otinyina no amadi ama ye basisi ne de aka ne yato so ha Akwaaba radio 98.1 Dr. Aji atena so trea heba powder ye no mukodi nkomo ye wia nkomo bia kechire bia no ye de bama na na pi ewa fidie so wo de ne sempo bama fidie na da ase na nkomo bia aka bia no ye bama diam etimi e da to asoma Dr. Aji doc good morning
mejo somini
na be bia boko de
nyame adum na so
nyango pa adum
anope so watuja
se nyuma mboko
nyame ne yedi ne ye
wo trea
ija ne hyewa
wala baba okay se jawana se ona so bedu de na yenti de prima
me da wasi pi menu ma memfa enchia ma watiefo na menka se wona anom adura ye friend se otwea herbal powder na wodi ho adanse ne so memfa ase dama wo mu omo so eja na hye wo mu na nso omo nka nkyere obi no mesre omo nka nkyere amanfo emfa emame de bia meka asem bi se nipadua otiase no bo ho ban na yare anka ho enti yedro otwea herbal powder no mpo no enti se nka wo yare ansa na wanom bi na nso yare ne bade ya na opedua no ma na opedua your friend say otwea herbal powder no wanom bi de bia meka asem se nuane ahudu ayedie se etiase yedi menken yedi banche ne we de otwemu tan yare kokko de se wo yi nipa dubie gina ho no emu nwotwe ewo bi na yare a egu nipa anim ase wie ne se na brabo enti wote ase a bo ho ban na nka kokko no kura ama na beda bo ho ban emma se wo pese emma kura de a hyase ne ya nom otwea herbal powder enna wo de bo ho ban na yare kokko no kura anto na sa abeto na ebewie o agya osisi yare agya wo se wugya wo na ya mogya wom esisi woni padua ho ba bia agya wo se woni so ye wisi agya wo se wo yem bom se de nsuo emuna na ebeto no de amesrew nia ohia ene otwea herbal powder we na onnom na yare no atu ase de amawo na se agya wo mreyo be ma agya wo mreyo wo mpem amene wo time na beka 2 minutes aye emerchi wade ne de amesrew hwehwe otwea herbal powder kira kwan ne na onnom a esa yare no na epagya wo mema sem gina fraako entisisi yare na aye wo aka wato wona atete wache na woje wo a engia enna obenum otwea herbal powder say kima na yare no aka wache no de bia meka me say akuafo ehu hia me yie baba pasan say wo mo eni ho a man ni ho no mo doctor bedidi lawyer bedidi banka bedidi ensemtwe ne bedidi enti kua ni de okura gana ni nyina na se kua ni yare na asema ba fie kua ni bi si wo
anokwa mi fie ya ye fe me de asidani nyina bema Everlasting Joy Roofing Services enkrofo yi ni madwuma papa wo mo na di nua gu so ansa na wo de nchansi yi boso wo hwese ne me dan ya ye fe ya enyo obi kra ne betu fo se for wadwuma ne ma Everlasting Joy Roofing Services die kumi nkra poni se wo mo ye free estimate installation so wo mo be ye eno achi so se wadi kan abodan ne so na se enwunu ana eliki a wo fra mo a wo mo ebeba be ye ne kama enchansi no so type bia wo pe no ubenya bi ewo Everlasting Joy Roofing Services so pe self lock IBR Euro tiles anase Arrowzinc enunti se wasi wo fie na wie na ope obi obebo so amawo ana wode enua ene nchansi ebeguso amawa eye Everlasting Joy Roofing Services wo hwe omachi akwan ya wo mo brekum Thursday market ya wo de dwom wo mo ne service station ni edinhwe animu wo mo ne Juben Pharmacy ene ben so ewo Pentecost Road ubetimi ni omo adi nkomo ewo 0506434459 and 055-006-8832.
Okay, you yemra na yefa enkomo no ense so na yewia etire no de ese ye de susu so ya bomodin etimi da to so e de ama na Ghana Premier League channel so week number 33 matches no etimi start baso enra na say ana resource no etimi ekosie kotoko terafie ehemiansa ama media matimi ateka baako Lagos City se terafie ma house foko bone kan mi no etimi antibrikum Chelsea terafie ehemienu ama Gold Stars ehemiansa saso ana Carrara ehemiansa ama yana kwaso se kano mama timi antibi Accra se terafie ma Dream se ko bone kan mienu saso ana Samata se ehemienu ama Domadi Anastars etimi ateka baako ana Kpando Heart of Lions se ehemienu ama Bechem United etimi ete kan back we any games etimi ekoso na Shannon so se Basaka Holy Stars omo Nations as akenzi no omo enwie na Basaka enya first penalty omo boch second one eba ye no ana Nations for ne esusu se referee Mohamed Misbah we de nye penalty nti omo to aso nye biem ama game no omo twentwen so a edu akire no ne committee eso frame na o kada kire nkwara ne se ball no omo nya bo de see e won suatere no omo mpese bi besi biem na ebe bo match wie no bi afa mu ahwere ne nkwanti omo etese league no omo to aso a match no enye ye nti omo jasa match ne bo ma me no kasi team no abepie mu kumase na kwa me jaka sa no pe ye de ba ma na league no say ene tie ye de ho nsem no ye de ma ena no pe otibi e wa Akwaaba radio 98.1 Nations FC ready can 60 point the toss me no aye goals at 60 miensa aye kotoko 58 saso and a 9 aye panda heart of 57 enum aye heart of 55 saso and insia aye samat at 51 and one sono aye medium at 50 saso and anwatwe aye dream says 49 and kron aye Bechem 44 edu aye Diana Stars ono aye 44 saso na duba coefficient FC 42 edu mienum brekum charge 41 saso na du miensa yana pass at 40 edu 9 aye Carrera 38 saso and Dunum aye Basaka Holy Stars 38 points in Ekutano saso and Dunsiam aye Caroline 35 Dun Sono aye Legon Cities on so 25 and feel so Dumatre aye Jatra FC on so 15 points so far so league table na mienu ni de omedike yomo na mum ye kan Basaka Holy Stars omo any Nations there no ombo we de besi no na ehun se ba ko na aka na so betima be ka mo na yawe se
no omo body na wi
se mesi de besi no
o to so ombo wi a
okay omo ka sem ni wi a na e be o na na sem o de asem na okay o ka sem ni wi a e se ta bi na esi na omo so league na omo nye de omo that match omo ntimi to aso enti so omo wi na se yen twen na se we efe ni nyamba official table nyamba
eye radio
yen twen efe no yen twen efe no na ebia Nations FC na bia omo so nyina so yiso makopie mu e ofiode ntia yese omo jai sa match ne bono na omo de wonsem na ba na Dr. Kwame Chei wono club president Edman Nations FC enu a na wo nyina se obi na nkomo yisi ekọ so abra woni yenu ma Sempa FM4 edi nkomo anopi na yenko TV Kwame Chei wosi no adu hu ye no wosi no nkoniwa na nkonim de besi biom de bia na anu de si e wonsu atre no na ebesa ko si biom yenti ne
fa points e beti me mo me nwero mbe ni points no le point e beti no e wunya no the league na the league am ni pa wudi e de league no e finisha ni ka bo football club me jai da na yin e ko se bi de na ni si e ba kuma ye wo fibo ya na me pani mo ti se me na masa ko ku no se point in team me pe league a team me ko mandi pa ai hwe kwa o dabi me ti me nyasa e ti do bia beka o woni de o ye sebe obi abeka fa obi ama enye hwe ya mea ya domama obi akwa kodura enu na ya se no ni se na mini ho a minim de tebisi dia no ma jaba no se na mini ho a because adia ku ama yi dia ball o se ebe start ya ko players no so ya ka kwa na e bobo no be start e wo park no so etimi hu ya na se no ofo ho no any de na e koso no minia me pese me America se me America temo a obeka se bia me wo ho ni tra me na mo from kopo na wo de mu se mo hwe no me koso enti me fa points e beti me ho me nwero mbe points no enyi di pankwa nyame enko de maye no enyi di pa ene de maye enyi di pa be de nkwa efu so enti no ma bi wo na wo ye na bife ni fi se bia so wie ebeba na hoto beba sa no ma no na wo ye fa ni pa be ka bibia de akiro but ye be ka akiro no wo re nyame ye no esi ye no de ka se ma ko ba bia wo bi da na se bibi se na esi a anya de automatic merit no makasa me ko e bia bi free wo free se be ko be 7 hours me ko land e ko aba let me draw but papa ni me free say e pa di ni ye mi su mi die chibi se de be ya ko no mo amanfo so ni ade wo e ti say na o say ko no ya me no ko ani eno ade me kan claim aka so me kasa mi nu mu se ma be football na me boa na me ma ka me mo die me hu ya me kasa me ni ji hu bi mo na me boa na me no ko
yo wasi anu ade ohun ende so onu ne ho sampo wode ne ho abese football ma na oboa na no mbuza ne se yase de akosi se referees ne beba matches o munni ne fede na sifo nyina no eye clubs na mo na sa na mo ne mu etu eno ene ma resource ya na bese minim doc de omo eken woni ye be ya adwen se clubs no so mo kan bi ene ma football no e ko fam sanana
And then you can say and count. You know, be a town. We are town because Emma made the emic when they say, maybe, video, this should be a fear or back. Maybe so many be near and I say, open Subi, Emma no more. Come with me, insist to be a cable. Then some you will be about, let's say, be a what we use to say, be a issue, and no many days, would ye? Dinner no more. Think of me and the bonnie so. Obia can of come Antonium. If you are a radina beer, a beer, a DB or dear, no be air for so I dear for someone. What before someone, and you be a radin with the oil. And when you could come on, and who here KBB, said they're making us down. I'm sorry, I'm not paying. And no KBB, and me, and get to see a KBB will be up.
You, and Tisana on Samano, essay, Etie, or the fancy, na, yen gentleman, na yen queen. Who say?
Vitago.
Ma yentiwe.
Go fi me that say.
Statement na is your media about.
Next for the statement. No, I'm church money say.
And church mo no omo lesson your ma makwa 5. The tia and game no. Omo ejaibo. Nti the more na your question.
Okay, I know push am na ma hwe na guide you maybe.
Sir.
And here why?
Educate security personnel. And disrespect to our supporters.
No, I'm going to be pre-match as almost 70.
Okay.
And but match and starting in part 20.
But how many G2 my pass here?
How much would you do?
That's all. And no team from Look, nobody hates the Ghana Premier League. In fact, I'll be the last person. I'll be the last person to hate the Ghana Premier League. But if you love the Ghana Premier League, at this moment, you will speak and people will think you hate it. Not because you hate it, but because you love it. Kofi, Obien wa oba odono. Oba na say ya. Oba expect still oba pampano. And on can say me be ye ba na ya. Enchire oba na say de be oba say free ni o ma boni na oye no. Last year, ye be we season say ye no. Okay, video na me ye na.
Yeah.
Penalty be kum Chelsea me that say. Kofi enye me pe ne say ka me frɛ Ghana Premier League say mo concert Premier League no. Referee age penalty. And Dabi. But there is no different from concert with regard to what we do. See be season na. Ye be Ghana Premier League. Just one kind of Kofi concert pa concert any ye. Last season, you go for to league. Kofi concert ben and the chere say has any Beche United. Concert ben a chain Heart of Lions any Bekum Chelsea. Concert ben and a chain Dreams FC ne RTU. Concert ben this season. I got 2 matches. Last match funny. Yasan Shasie. First, yasi abodama yebo free fee nti ma starting free fee. Ansa na yakọ. The ACC or Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Kofi, mo de mo be kum Chelsea pa. Obi nso wa haye me de. Me person ne mo mba me mo honest opinion. Because from where I sit, 90% of obi o follow Chelsea as a supporter na mere supporter bi ate say. Ball no, on be she kum Chelsea 3-2. Amankona be she 2 goals. Kofi, ote yes and I want no.
Me ne kuremni se me se metibibisa even gambo no atama me nya ko se na obi ka tem se match no se no mtie no kra me nka no kotwe na me se na watere me a obabusa me
na bo saying
okay no almost 2
na say before the match ote say be 3-2
yeah and I say na
o de amankona be she 2 goals na na say ote before the match
okay 3-2 no and me tie ma me nka wi okay 3-2 me ma musa say one be say na me say na what say 3-2
okay but ote 3-2 but one tell you be ote yeah okay before the match
before the game
one to say 3-2 okay akabako when they check betting platforms no and Bekum Chelsea match no
betting
before so omuyi match na free bet no Bekum Chelsea bo fie na win ye 9 meaning say what the 10 city to a chabenya 90 city what the 1 city 1 million to a chabenya 9 million what the 100 million to a chabenya 900 million obi obo fie
98.1
Kofi Taho you see sometimes I didn't think that yeah ho sa aden and then you build game ni we say you want me say who person was saying now prediction you be better predicting now but we like if you don't follow the Ghana Premier League kawanu tum if you are not honest kawanu tum because see say you can say bibi wo bibi mu a there is more than enough to ascertain certain things to say nra like even Mame kwa smoke I was Sunyani o but I started hearing it from Sunyani to funny because man na inti me be die inti man chene kro mo pon and sana me who resource the first person that I met na me say because just imagine mo pon say AC 3-2 na man kra be she 2 no and hey aden look me say nipa nyina ate se me a kenura me tua gate member be jimisika wam this kind of show because me say match 3-2 na ma ba match ni e be pon 3-2 aba
me say what me want me prediction so man e ba
where's your prediction man
o dey me question na me
where's your prediction no me ba
me busa question you no answer prediction so to
I do a prediction
me busa question
the prediction
be na obi na
prediction
asema me kan say o judge man
so we see bia
me say so to me predict match
and the prediction once man na me so me no now you see Kofita go be hano apart from 3-2 no mo nim score line bia on eduru say na
on te say bia omo yes
like eduru say like dabi eduru say na 3-2 no doso the oji go kimbe she 2 goals na e doso
e kuma say the answer no aso sa
Kofi nya abotre me keme say me boda free
eh friends
nti abotre na say wunya what I say e doso the oji go kimbe she 2 goals 3-2 the oji go kimbe she de bia say e be ba be she home team say de be ya also no so you see when you do this ngwafo na mo person be sponsor ball no amu yo referee na onu se bia wonim hu bia no onu so wom and the next time so obi so no referee no kwa complain about referee because the referee so engineer e bia nko sa sometimes I metifie na me nko he Ghana Premier League enya me pro because me say open league I won pay do you know the kind of cost and risk I take in making sure say league no mo person ke be ya yes you quota ya produce and the metifie no mo bobola menya because my dwene nyina ka say o park no so but we sure passing team no me ba park ka me timi nya video mo de manko bi de minim de see but I'm only asking say timi we sure say no akwa park nti BBS fenchem wani so me manko bi like nti na me pese be from BBS fenchem
bibia me de me nim ne
hu de fenchem me da se nti kame hu bibi nti me ma na mama ye wo useless target wa bra wo interest bi na wo sika bia obi pay free baby nti eni nti da mama no na e na ye me ya Ghana na hwete sam the bottom line is ye be wie no enko baby a fa no to nche me de me big shock ne say miso obi animo ntina unza ukra no ka james o ti 2 ansa na ebo 3 ama wa bobol o de em fa no nto no kotoko 3-2 the similar score line Kofi media ma ye one team a on steady sen for suspect o pa when it comes to ye be season no omo nye in contention of winning the league me bu ka mo ne has 3-1 no enti me say o ti bia no honestly man tehwe honestly
na me man say squad na me bu ka take na me
because me man me tehwe dia me de me mfa wada
before the game am say say mo say scout bi aba abeta mo
nti abeta mo be den
zano mo
da bi nya sa no mo kenti abeta o kan wa
se kan say abeta da bi broni bi buy na broni ni am park so nti madafu bi na waso o ye ni video o sane no so o be hwe abeta mo ana me say abeta mo na so nyo na lead goal kino ona so on ntino wire o ba na so okay mate
ntiaro kwa na ate
na me ne kan na me da
ye fa no ntonche Kofi Nations FC Bashake Holy Stars Nations FC for no hwe the way anu make after first penalty o man into aso 2 o mo jai ball ne bo na de na ye ya park so atisi ba yim Nation supporters na TC park now you see adie bia be sia our history our background asem way mimi no mienu nyina inasma say yentimi ascertain the fact yenya videos no nioma unfolded right from the very beginning should tell you say we were heading towards here you see about Ghana Premier League particularly ye be season na to the MT and Kofi also TBA. First, you are preventing media from coverage.
Yes, I know Mattia.
But that's it. 2, you are starting about hostile atmosphere.
Fans, you know, omoko no that's TBA. Omoko police.
Your friend hostile atmosphere. Obian can't say ye be meow. Say away gamer.
Yeah, boy, man, answer.
Yes, sir, boy. Make division too much, be maybe. Omutia say omaka refuge away fans na eba Japan team inter say Japan team di kesi ansa na fans na ba inside mo be ba na for be 3 na ya bo game ni enya nduru ba bia first penalty go yansa nko ye second penalty Kofi so unim Ghana League no nim official venue media officer ya friends ango omunyina be ka say hwiensi be penalty be yanso ye nyanko ba bia o Kofi ade na penalty e wo
I say,
okay. So saying you about 10 minutes penalty, 15 seconds. Next 10 minutes your penalty, I say be 9.
Okay.
And the you about 3 penalty no more be nkuno no more the aya there. What I say? After the way jabo. Kofi?
Yeah.
Now. And this nation just omu last match na so bo.
Amoni out of line.
Just omu jabo. Unim the entia because the see omu jabo no. O kan mrana. For feature.
Yeah.
For feature so kire say ulusu sa points and 3.3 goals and ulusu sa points and 3.3 goals and my opponent ni asa to 3.3 goals and automatically no nations here out of the league race. What I say now my points na da na say 60
yeah.
Na say omu nyante de e betia free nim free but you free me be say
e beka 56 54
me that say 50 say
4.
How many say ni?
We 16 or
into automatically na aka say
54.
Into automatically no out of the race. To league no nya dey. Onya bo because what we jabo. After the Dr. Chase wonu no. Uno uzo wa twe wom. Ensem na other media outlets report say o si league no mo bi. As a for bisa no. No so there be the tiene say o change mu say o expect change say e be league but wantimi an so wantimi an connect league ni dey onya because when him say onya abo investment why you play onya abo, that is the bottom line. But Kofi, this is why ye mu bi de bia ye pese ye ma ye nyina na saa de na ye na emboa obi ya de bia nye new team ne adidi no they be a different team and they say you're fighting for a cause for our league to be better, for supporters to benefit, for scoreline not to be bet tradi no na ube hunu ho amane ube bo ho kade emwa obi ano. We should all fight the same cause and yes adia ye be wie no ni aba besia Kofi
you
minim say drama no part 1 nie na last one of matches no so final funny clip no o me say twa maye
mate e da se Kwame
Kofi
boko
ya me adom
ma yinti we
Kofi izi enra na me re ho pa se me ti se Nations FC si bo no mo bi and me show mo letter na mo de ba so mo bi no I was very sad say letter na me share the content of letter na Kofi na reasons no mo man bi wo ha Kofi na me hu fa so bi also na any basis. One, I say inadequate security personnel. We while starting game now more 30 minutes.
1 FM.
Time no who say you were inadequate security personnel so parking as well. Nya na anu ade ya na ye media stations ye nuanum kan bo mu sa Ghana ha kuma say over some of the venues are security personnel say enough. Na yesesa emrane say matches ni bi wo ha Kofi. Se wo kona se security ni nye up to number na go video na eso ye emra ne kire de eso ye protocols ni na ma ya ye protocols na de ama security coordinator ni we bibia ho ndi go fi se wa kona security personnel so ye 20 now start ball no na akiro say inadequate security nti ba ja ba go fi se bi it doesn't enwodu ho na akra na say some punishing nations go fi 2 or say disrespect to our supporters we as in what Enra nation supporters no more stadium ho later no more PS ball no ko mo nyede mo hwe bi dey ni Simon P and dey say omo so reasons omo wo hai enye reasons a witumi aka say enye reasons nti a supporters ni PNT no enu ntimi nka say o supporters e PNT no ball no mo pie
almost the AC on person.
No, me just say, support yeah. And go for incident in see no it happen what
inner perimeter.
I hear Mr. say inner perimeter to kwa AC no. E between nations FC goalkeeper.
Na sana oh so we are not an officials in between them one.
And na me just say to kwa the first person who na nations FC goalkeeper. And FM ran just so be o inner perimeter bia should be accredited. The way ye ka se ye punish ya ye mre. Ana me wa. Ye punish ya ye mre because a BBA show say everyone I know what park ni should be any accredited ye hwe na ye mre. Ana we say yes. Yeah. Obi o inner perimeter ni should be ya obi a na o accreditation so eden owura park ni so ti ye hwe na ye mre. The way say no enya de an case nation service ma ade we ye kwade mo but o say the security now o say coverage kofi o kai say dem ha na ka be 5 matches na me start here campaign
bana matches na me yi na we can be
na me trust say
right now FA the say they tell it no me
e ka be 5 matches na dem ha me start ka say yen forget about matches ni na yen concentrate on nations any goal stars matches. Okay. Kofi nations match do say na ya edu ne last match we di card cameras ago zo go imagine.
On say na mfa do be yan.
Enye mfa do be Kofi this time no sponsorship no e be ka say yi we dey 10 yi we dey 10 we dey 5 o. Kofi dey omu choose match omu free say omu pe no mo kwa kwodwa. Demu ha na metina ka se ba bia Kofi ye league ne keka ko no. E ka be 5 matches na ye hu say matches na be between nations any baby any goal stars na me can say every game be a nations any baby any goal stars be am obi say ye mo bi kura fie da na okay ma me can say every game be o money nyina amra life si we be bo me nda ama we abokosie da go video shoot enforce it se be benya game na nkasa na e be hu se bibi kwobone na bi nkwobone wa nations le sama test na be brief suspect say near course na nye kwan papa so say game na my life samre na kotoko ebo against baby any goal stars but na live game two teams o munyi na play league age we bo ma ne ba life we bo a my life the gofi dey na ba ya afa all of a sudden no yes say yen kwotwa nations ne say nka baby any brekum chance so bo ade no mo anya arrangement no mo ntwa brekum de ne bia memenda ni yen twa baby any de nations any Sunday. Because we say ya ukodura ene na ma so prevent coverage no because now coverage no kwa team lewe team now or prevent because start time so ma prevent start time